So, you got a bunch of black men coming together. It's a very beautiful thing. Um, a lot of times people they don't understand this 7.0 type of conversation when you're thinking beyond uh, women. They don't understand that 7.0 type of thinking. And the reality is we got too many entertainment type of people who are around us, and they making things more difficult. This is part of the problem with this community, is that it doesn't understand how to not be difficult. We create more problems for ourselves in a lot of the stuff that we do. Instead of focusing, we create more problems. Instead of focusing on things that benefit us as black males, we focus on not being ready, not having our money right, all these extra issues. And when we have these extra issues as black men, then when opportunities come, we're not in position to do nothing righteous for the sake of children. So now we got an NFL team on the blocks. They did something strategic. They went to a place where they need something. And if you're willing to come in with this $92 million, it actually should be more, but guess what? You're not going to do nothing with that facility. In Atlanta, shout out to Future Society, a gentleman, he's here. You were able to take that park that the Braves left downtown Oakland, and the college was able to buy it and use it. But you don't have that situation out here in the Bay Area. You're just going to have an empty lot that's already rusted. But here's what you can do. Allow people to come in. But here's the trick, Future Society of Gentlemen. And I know you've researched this, but I'm going to set it up for you. They want to do an Arthur Blank type of buy. We'll buy it. We'll pay you the taxes. You have nothing to do with it. Now, why would the city not do that? I'm going to talk to my district representative. I got her on my Twitter. So I'm going to make sure, because she's newly elected. We got the old lady up out of there. The district representative for my house does not like the mayor. And I love that about her, because I don't want people buddy down at City Hall. Hopefully you'll speak to that too, Future. But this is a good thing. Let them buy the whole thing. They'll take responsibility, just pay the taxes, and we ain't got to play these games. Future Society of Gentlemen, what are your thoughts?
I love the move. It's perfectly strategic, because the city never invested in the place all the time. Which has caused the Raiders to keep moving around so much. So it's a beautiful move. I don't see any reason why the city wouldn't do it.
No, they
probably want a little bit more money on it.
No, there's a reason why they won't do it, because they're used to the residents not being informed. And when the residents are not informed, then they're able to do stuff and then pretend as if something else happened. But now, since we got social media, people tend to tell on people in City Hall, especially out here where I am. But go ahead.
Right. The only reason I would see they wouldn't do it is if they received offer from some other equity investors, where
not gonna happen.
Right. Where they can make a gain off of the loss.
Yeah, at this point, if right now they're paying at this point, but they're not going to charge themselves. peep out that part of the game. So at this point, it behooves them, but see, they want to have their hands in it some way, somehow. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they're going to be buying for. We need to be able to black out, because you know how a blackout works, right?
From a in a black sense.
So a blackout works that the reason they black out TVs.
Okay, the blackouts. Yeah.
Blackout TV games is because they didn't get a number of seats were bought. The reason that happens is because the city ensures X amount of things to happen. And when the city insures it, the city has to flip the bill for seats that are not done. So that's their way of punishing the local resident for not buying those seats.
Well, that also is in that has been the feature here for a long time, even with Arthur Blank owning it then, so to speak. The city is involved. The city still has to, I guess you could say, quote unquote, still has to administer the building. Because it's built into state law, they have to have some sort of, not so much a financial stake, but they have to at least administer the building. And the fact that the stadium sits next to the Georgia World Congress Center, which is a state-owned facility, gives them that authority. So in that sense, the city also has operating costs, administrative costs, security costs, blah, 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 all that little stuff.
They get a piece.
So yeah, I mean, so of course there has to be some sort of, not necessarily a open stake in it, but a way that they can reimburse themselves for the cost of administrating the facility.
Right. And you know what?
Services, things of that nature, all that stuff.
I think it's a thing of percentages. I think as opposed to getting maybe a 40% stake, they get dwindled down to a 15%. You know, which is cool.
The one thing on the bid I didn't find is a plan for its renovation, or is this just let us at least get the stadium, and then we will work with the NFL on getting the team moved out there.
So no team is going to move out. They're going to build one from scratch.
Okay.
So this will be an expansion team. And so your team will come from the draft. Okay. The other thing is the renovation at this point isn't necessary because they're looking at the purchase first. Because once they get the purchase, and Mr. Babbitt has already sent the main owners, which I'm quite sure LeBron and Shaq are one of them. But they've sent the main owners to the league. Once the purchase goes through, the league is somewhat forced to verify it because because Oakland leaving was Oakland's decision. It wasn't like they were lacking financial support, even as a losing team. So really it's asinine to leave, but it's Oakland's choice to leave. So the way the league will look at this is, okay, we're about to get a twofer here. Raiders get to go over there and start their thing, and this market will just build from the people who feel disenfranchised. Win-win.
So I am assuming that the plan is, because that's why I said, well, would a team move there? Because there is a team that's kind of stranded out there down south.
Who?
The Chargers.
No, that's not going to happen.
They're not.
That's not.
I think
For,
Spanos can be bought.
for,
You don't think Spanos can be bought?
no, for a couple of reasons. It's a cultural problem. The same reason why the Warriors have lost 1/3 of its fans by moving to Frisco. Oakland people don't deal with Frisco like that, even
Right.
though it's
They went for the bread, so they could charge $400 a seat.
there you go. And the only reason they charging that is because the Filipinos out here have come up since 2010, and they're hiring each other at a high rate. I mean, you know what's so funny is we'll have to talk about that another day. Sometimes you got immigrants that don't even speak the language well.
Bruh, I'm gonna tell you something.
Man,
I need to get about three. I need to get about three guys or girls a mix. It doesn't really matter. Take them out to California, pull up to a McDonald's, and they'll be in for a shock.
yeah, it's off the chain because this is why I tell black women. You know, they spend so much time, black women. Well, how we weren't in power, and you know what I'm saying. I'm at this point with those type of, I'm at this point with those type of discussions where I'm like, we just need an all male thing and just let the women go do their thing because
You know what's so hard for me, bro?
this whole
Is
lack
that
of accountability.
my dad had to explain this to me. Is that he said, you know how Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan can't coach a team because the only thing they know how to do is be great, and it's getting to the point where it's more frustrating trying to level down and trying to bring these dudes up.
Yeah.
Either get with it or flow with it or get gone.
Because look, I don't hate women at all. I just realized that, and this is why I said that whole wolf stuff I was doing. You just got to walk past them because they're always looking for war. They're always looking for a problem, and it's like, come on, man. But 20%, 30% of them are great. 30% of them totally understand what we're saying, but the rest of
them. I want to tell you this. The other day I was in Publix, and I just so happened to be privy to a conversation between two of the co-workers there in the produce department. And the female basically was like, no, well, the dude was like, well, you got a good man, and this, and that, and the other. Why do you feel the need to always argue with him and cause ruckus? Her reply was, because I can. I know it's wrong, but because I can.
There you go.
And now I'm gonna give a description of these folks. Now the chick, you're if you're not over 40, you're pushing it. So you should be happy. And the dude that was talking to her, you know, he wasn't no chap like that. You know what I'm saying? But I bet he had a lot of, but it was about his maturity. Mm-hmm. He was like, he said, you're gonna mess around and lose that dude. You're gonna mess around and lose that dude.
And don't care.
For nothing.
And don't care until the crying starts.
And you really think so? You really think he'll just leave? I mean, I'm not serious about it or anything. You think he really just up and just leave me over that?
Yes.
He was like, yes. Yes. He said, any man who's a peaceful man
don't want all that.
Want to kill, he don't want all that.
Everybody's like, Q, man, you like black women. Why ain't you married? Brother, listen to what I'm saying. These women these days, it's not that easy. It's just not. And then on top of that, let me tell you about two of the women I deal with. All right. And these are not even relationship women. These are just two female sexual partners, right?
Right.
My patience to not bite into hey, when we gonna hang out? You ready, daddy? Has caused me like normal, because I'm a patient dude. The real them comes out. Now I get to have a deeper understanding what they really about.
Question.
Hold on. Let me finish this. So the reason I have a deeper understanding now, Now I have redirected one of them to a totally different category and the other one to a non-sexual friend phone call only type of scenario. Because I don't bite at the apples that they put at my feet. Go ahead.
Do you think that if you were either A, blissfully somewhat naive and stumbled upon some square chick at 18 and everything worked out, or you knew at a little slightly younger age what you knew at, say, 25?
Oh, I'd be off and running.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
I'd be off and running.
I think a lot of times, a lot about coming full circle, and I think a lot of dudes is frustrated by this. Man, if you really think about it, you might have met the one when you were younger.
Yeah. The problem is, you know, I could have led the one chick very well at 17 if I knew 1/5 of what I know now. But I was an uncertain person. I was making street money, and I didn't even think that I'd live past 26. So my concept was not, I didn't have the nourishment. And it was two dudes out in the streets who talked me into the level of game that I got now. The two dudes who was like, no, you way greater than this, bro. And that's when I started calling myself the Dr. Spock of the streets. I'm smarter than all this.
Or I shouldn't say you met the one you should have had then, or you just didn't know what to find. You didn't know what you wanted.
No, at 17, I can say I had her, but I didn't know how to lead her. And the funny thing, she was white. And I didn't even really want her like that. But she was the sweetest person. But I just didn't lead well. And I was about my money, but she thought I had even more. You feel me? So that was one of her reasons for tagging on, because she always saw me shining.
Right. Well, but, you were winning. As long as you look like you were winning, that's all that matters.
Right. And to be honest, if I had been just a regular job making about a G a week, I could have been able to handle that situation. And you know what? Even if I had a divorce later, it wouldn't have been a bad look. But the problem is, I didn't have direction. I was traumatized and I didn't have direction. And this is why I try to help people so much, because I understand a lot of dudes are 40 years old and still traumatized, and sex is the only thing that makes them feel like a man. But let's get back to this thing though. So what happens in this business model, on your question about it getting redesigned? Once it's bought, people like myself, and I'm gonna reach out to my homeboy, we are the ones who come in with our companies or our vendorship, and we have a buy-in. That's what happened with the Brooklyn Nets and Jay-Z. Jay-Z bought all the property around the facility and developed it.
Right.
So now, if you want to open a Taco Bell, you got to holler at Sean.
But Jay-Z didn't help black people when they did that.
You know what, man? You know what's so funny? That's just like somebody went on Bernard Riley's show and gave receipts on how much Obama tried to help black folks. And it's like, people, especially dudes, are willing to believe stuff that they have not researched. And Obama didn't do nothing. Obama did more, but he got blocked so much by Paul Ryan. I mean,
or like with Jay-Z, here's a way of looking at it. He took that money and gave a lot of it to the Democratic Party to get people elected that advocated things that some of y'all believe in.
Right. But see, Jay-Z has the same problem Obama has. Trump has shown everybody the way, and the more I get back into music, I'm doing the same thing. Even as an older dude, you got to have a Twitter champion. You have to have a Twitter assistant who sends out every single thing you do, like a history book, so nobody can ever say it wasn't done. If I open up a KFC, tweet it. If I hire a black manager, for a black female manager for that KFC, tweet it.
Yes, sir.
And because that's what's happening in this tweet culture is people are looking for stuff that ain't going right. Recently, I heard Mr. Duke Jackson said he's an entertainer. So
who?
So if you're an entertainer,
oh.
If you're an entertainer, Stephen Fetchit was an entertainer. Stephen Fetchit thought he was talented. But Stephen Fetchit destroyed the image of the community. Hey, well, boss, he is over here. Yeah. He made a lot of money destroying the image of the community. But you know what happened when color pictures came into play? He was broke, and he was begging people for jobs, and he died broke.
Rebuttal. According to the Wayans brothers, if he didn't do that, then that would not have opened the door to other black. I think what was the show that came out in the 50s? I can't remember. The black comedy. I cannot remember.
With two guys.
The two guys, yes.
Amos
and Andy.
Yeah. Amos and Andy. Kingfish and
Stephen Fetchit led to Amos and Andy, and then that opened the door. What say?
No, that's incorrect. Because now it's kind of like
right? Because I said contrast that with Nat King Cole.
Right, I was about to say that, or Geraldine. He always played Geraldine. What's the?
I'm trying to remember who that is too.
He had a talk show. Yeah, but anyway, just like him, because Nat King Cole and him had a talk show. So that's an outlier. You know, the problem is, like, when I debate people on what you just did, which the whole perspective thing, you can't really judge perspectives. Perspective is what happens to be allowed. Let me give you an example. If the black man who built the first car had got some funding, he'd have went down to history as the man who made the car. If Black Planet had have been protected when he first did that and told him don't put it in beta form so people can add to it, we'll bankroll that, then Black Planet would be Facebook right now, because Zuckerberg got his framework from that beta model. So this is what I'm talking about. It's like we the Wayne brothers is correct in their perspective, but I can offer a different perspective that if we didn't have it, we'd have a different outcome. So
it's called exception to the ruleism.
Yeah.
And as long as this exception to the ruleism exists, then what you say cannot possibly be true, even though it may happen 1 out of 99 times, 1 out of 100 times.
But like I said, we can always do the reverse on the ruleism. Look at because it's kind of like I say to people about the 1980s. We had less racism in the 1980s than we do now. We had cops with water cannons and dogs, but we had less interaction. You could probably go a whole 4 months without getting harassed. But now, if you look at that little girl getting sprayed with that little 9-year-old girl getting sprayed with pepper spray in her eyes, now the cops are just doing it constantly.
It's like they haven't learned.
Right. Your mother
you was just on TV last year.
Yeah, your mother shoots your dad. You sitting up there crying. You want your daddy. You unruly. You put her in the back seat. If you don't stop, if you don't get in, we're gonna put it in your eyeball. Huh? This is positive. Anyway, let's get back to the thing. So you got an all black male team, all black male business group, and this is one thing I'm very proud of, the fact that it's an all black male business group. We gotta be 7.0 and do things beyond women. While I do care about women, I just don't think it's a good thing to even involve them unless they're on the sales force. I was going over my little business plan. Look, you laughing? I'm very serious. Why are you laughing?
I am for talent.
What do you mean?
I am for talent.
No. I'm for talent too, but I think they serve a better service on the phone or in the sales force. That's why I think that, and then that whole issue of money will be resolved too, because it will be on their productivity. What are your thoughts?
I am open to talent. If she is the sharpest individual in the room after of course being proven, then
that's not going to happen though. Women right now don't prove themselves when they get employed.
Well, if you're talking about women as a group, if we're talking about generalities, well, yeah.
No, you talking about individual get approved.
But I can't go into a situation with a mindset. Okay, women are this, and so now I'm overlooking someone who is clearly talented.
Talented how? Please explain.
Okay, you say in sales. What if she is the best accountant in my accounting department? What if everything that she has predicted, gave me a forecast on the next 6 to 12 months, has been somewhat true versus everybody else?
Oh, so if she,
I'm saying proven over a period of time, not just walking in the door. But of course, you also can't refute someone's resume if it's if it's a proven thing with references.
So the problem with that is that I would meet you halfway in the middle. They would have to show that they forecasted someone else prior, because what happens too many times is, and I work in an all lady dominated field, women get pulled on just for the fact that they're women. And they apply.
And I'm clearly not talking about that. Not at all. That's very right.
That's clearly the standard of what happens. That's the standard of what happens. So for me, I would prefer that they start off in sales and show that ability, and then if they want to transfer to the accounting, let them transfer to the accounting. But they'll still have to be vetted on the accounting with their prior accounting thing. We just got. I mean, dude, I'm in my.
Actually, by you making that last statement, it clarifies me what you really meant.
Yeah, because
sometimes you are just chosen because you just giving up a different type of energy.
Right, because we got so many. I'm in a woman dominated field, dude. We got so many situations where, like, I was in an office where there's 1, 2, 3, 4 desk people and 1 manager, and they're serving 2 doctors, but there's not a lot of patients. Now, that's not an allocation of services, right? That's not an allocation of staff members correctly. But nobody says nothing because it's women. and while that's cool, if it had been some guys, you'd be asking them to lift a box, mop something. You see what I'm saying? It's a weird thing that happens when guys are there. I've been in situations where I'm the front receptionist, bro. and they asking me to come into the kitchen and lift a box, or they telling it. I'm like, no, that's not my job description. Oh, you ain't no real man. Don't insult me like that, man. Let's not have an HR problem. Oh, you arrogant. See, it's like I'm the receptionist. I deal with customer service, people filling out papers, and I never forget they had this one guy. He was a certified behavioral specialist for the child patients. They asked this dude to clean out the bathroom because they decided to terminate the janitorial contract.
Uh,
And
uh,
and
uh,
and,
uh,
and it hadn't been done for weeks. And then when he said, "No, I'm here to do behavioral, not to mop and clean toilets," they said, "Well, you're not a team player." And he came to me. I said, "Bruh, I told you, stop being so helpful. You was helpful. You was trying to get along, and all this type of stuff. And now what's how?" He said, "Man, I see, man. I just thought you hated women." I said, "No, no, it has nothing to do with that. You hyena dudes." That's why I came up with the term hyena. I said, "You hyena dudes are the first one to get killed." And then they terminated that dude, hired a woman, and then she refused, and then they hired the janitor. I said, "Boy, I tell you." You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. And I got let go because the lady was listening to some other ladies about me. I said, "I'm in a cubicle. I'm in a glass box. I don't interact with nobody unless they come into my world."
okay, yeah. Now you was in a hornet's nest.
Right. I'm like,
Yeah. You were when it's overwhelmingly ladies. Nah.
yeah, yeah. And they just pick fights. And so for that reason, I would still employ ladies. I would just put them in a position where they can make the most money. Let me say it again, where they can make the most money, which is in sales, and have it be performance based.
But
That
you know,
means,
you know what it really is. What it is, I have graduated through hard through a tough work ethic from hood rats to business women, and I was raised by a business woman.
uh,
So I'm around chicks who are working. They're getting their stuff done. There's not a lot of layover time. They make logical decisions. So that's what I'm saying. Things like we're going to fire the entire janitorial staff, and we're going to have a certified employee go clean the bathroom. Like
yeah,
that, this stuff has never happened in the work environment I've ever been in, ever. However, I can see it happening in though.
bro. Look, like you said, hornet's nest. I think it has to do with the level of accountability at the job. So our owner was a white female, and she was passionate about helping children with cerebral palsy. I think she was engulfed in that. But my manager was I believe I'm better than everybody type of stoic, very stoic woman. You didn't see her smile much. She looked over her glasses at people, that type of stuff. And you can't get nothing done with that type of behavior. And what I've noticed is the women who do that is because they have a great boss. The white lady was a great boss, but she didn't beat that woman down with productivity. And that woman started walking around like she was the king of everything. But then you're making stuff worse. You're losing people, and it's like in a man's world, when you're losing staff and your quality's going down, you can't come to me blaming staff. You can't come to me like I had a conversation with my friend, my male friend. He's a director of a hospital at one point in time. I said, no. He said, yeah, but the level of people that apply. I said, no. You need to restructure your system to where it's more attractive to those people who are on point. And then you can get rid of some of the people. But the problem with people like you, I told my friend, This is one of my best friends in Atlanta. I said, instead of taking that dollar amount, now that I let Future go, it should be given at least half of it to that superstar employee. He could do both jobs, but you don't. You save that money, and then you just rely on the superstar employee to hack it out. That's not good. That's not good. Every time I've had employees, man, and we start trimming the fat, the first thing I'm saying is, hey, I'm giving bi-weekly bonus or monthly bonus. So because we don't have Fred no more, I'm gonna pocket that money on the budget, and who's ever the superstar for the month, that's your bonus. Oh, everybody working for the bonus now. You see my point?
Right.
I ain't gonna just get that money back to the owners. Why? What sense is that?
It's kind of the hiring model everywhere, though. They would rather a position sit empty if they can divide the work. They'll go through a man.
Well, because they have people now since the fall of unions and the rise of right to work, fire you over anything. They realize they have people working scared, and then immigrants are coming, and they're willing to work for $5 and $6 like it's $29. They're willing to do a $15 an hour job like they're getting 40. It's amazing sometimes when you go see how people are living at home versus the position that they have. Like, I've seen some people, immigrants, Asians, when I tell you they live in a closet, but they happy because it's not like back home where they from. And I get it. But that doesn't help the department grow. Because now you're doing slave type of jobs, and now they don't, a lot of times they don't have quality in what they do. They're just doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
so a lot of things get lost sometimes, and we have to repeat things several times because there's no quality in what you're doing. I was talking to my lead who have been in there in his position for 12 years. Why are you doing this quality control check thing when the state gives us 90 days to clear this stuff? Oh, well, there's always room for improvement. And I'm like, dude, you're doing a self-imposed godlike thing because he won't even take the manager's position because he wants to be in a position where he can just wag his finger. He don't want that responsibility. Well, why are you here? Because, dude, if you leave, they got to hire 3 people to fill out what you do. And we're not going to do it at this hectic pace. It's just a ridiculous thing, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say he likes what he does. He just likes what he does.
yeah, he likes what he does because the black women who trained him, who are no longer working there, put him in a position coming straight out of the mall. He had just got to this country 2 years ago. Put him in a position to where he can do that. It's just weird. It's like,
well, the thing about the immigration thing is, that's engineered from the top. They have to have a bottom to this whole pandemic thing and these relief bills and all this other stuff. The one thing I'm taking from it is they want to make sure that people are not able to break the level of the socioeconomic class that they're in. Some people are upset that people are paying down debt. And then look at the GameStop incident. There's so much cash afloat people are breaking their bond. I mean, that's where the immigration thing comes in. They're clearly here to drive down wages. The way that they allow people to overstay their visas. It's ridiculous.
All that, and it's mostly the Democrats doing it. To be honest, it's mostly Democrats doing it. That's the crazy part of the game because
that's just crazy.
Yeah, because here's what I say to people like Mr. Fantastic. Why are you fighting for this country?
Well, because, see, when we say it's mostly Democrats doing it, that's on the face of it. But there's got to be a handshake agreement because when you see whose lawn that they're working on, these guys are mostly Republican voters. These farms and these large land plantation lots and these big ranch houses and shit with all these trees and 20-foot driveways, these are conservative voters that these Mexicans are working for.
That, yeah.
Predominantly. Excuse me for slurring and saying Mexicans, for that these Central Americans are working for the most part. I mean, it's not their fault. They're trying to escape from where they're coming from or whatever, and they were allowed in. So, I mean, it's not just, it's just Democrats. There's some level of collusion in this country between both parties at the very top.
There is a level of it, yes, I will agree, but let me explain the landscaping thing, or just any agricultural thing. Since Reagan bust up the union that had white, black, and Latin working together back in 85, Reagan busted that up. We've had that problem. See, now the immigrant on a landscaping level is willing to do it for such a low rate that that you and I cannot create a landscaping company to compete. We just can't.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we can get work in, but not compete.
Right. So as big as my property is, you got people. I hired 2 Mexicans. Cost me about $200. You can't compete with that. Now, mind you, I'm a person who looks for black people. But guess what? Every time I find one, they're not consistent. They don't come up. They don't follow through. I mean, well, what am I supposed to do?
That's where sometimes I have to agree with Sub on the STEM thing. We say that it's not enough diversity, but where's the supply?
Right.
Why are we not putting our foot on our kids' necks and making them program at night instead of being on the damn phone?
Exactly. But guess what? Maybe not your wife or your daughters, but we got a majority of women who are absentee people. They know that all they're doing is taking these children puppy years, and they just gonna let the dog roam as soon as they become a dog. They don't care the fact that they haven't trained this dog. They're just gonna let the dog figure it out. That's why decade after.
Like, we gotta clean up that language, but I get what you're saying.
No. What I mean by the children are the dog in this example.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like the children. They have to fend for themselves. That don't make no sense. If you're a parent, you're supposed to train your child on the potholes to look for.
That's what the Bible says.
Banking.
Train your child in the way they're supposed to go. And they honor their father and their mother.
So you got kids. I never forget when I left. I didn't know nothing about bank cards. Ain't know nothing about that. Nobody ever said, "Hey,
we're still on some let the kids figure it out."
Yeah, let the kids figure it out nonsense. And it's like the kids can't survive like that.
Right. But it ain't everybody, because it warms my heart every year when I see, the black son that's got he got accepted at all Ivy League schools. The other black kid who was homeless who got accepted at 30-something schools. So there are parents putting in work that those stores are not advertised, those stores are not told. And we have a we don't market our successes as we market our victims more than our successes.
Because when Calvin went to the McDonald's and became assistant manager, we vilified him. And we've been vilifying success ever since.
Like the people that's when I was reading up on this deal about the stadium, the Open State Coliseum, and the last name on the list is Luke Capital. I said, aha, the investment bank. That's who's bankrolling the deal. That's who's underwriting the deal. Never heard of Luke?
Yeah, it got to be underwritten.
So I started investigating, like, hey, can I invest in Luke Capital?
Can you invest in Luke Capital? Hey, look, a black construction firm should have underwrote it. How about that?
Black construction firm is involved, I believe. Well,
Capital.
I think he's a real estate investor. Excuse me. There's a real estate investor involved also. I believe he's built some properties. So it's said in the Bible.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. I mean,
construction.
Well, they gotta be in position, because like Luke Capital is owned by a sister. They gotta be in position. Is my point. Gotta be in position, man. You can't. We got to be in position, man, and we got to be able to put our money up. I was just talking to my homeboy. My homeboy makes $160 a year, man, and I'm like, man, look, let me put myself in position. Let me put myself in position.
Exactly.
Because
the other problem is when we get the money, we spend the money.
Yeah, but on what?
On toys, man. These cats, man. As much as there's gentrification in Atlanta, there's a lot of young black folks that live downtown in these $2,000 apartments and these nice rides. And I'm like, I know you're barely making it. I know you're spending every dime of that 60 to 80 you're making.
Yeah, I don't be knowing what cats be spending on now, man. Because even my time in Atlanta, I did well until I got hit with that government shit. When I got hit with that government shit, it was like, what the fuck? And it was God's way of saying he wanted me to move back home. So, once I moved back home, I realized why he was forcing me. But I'm like, shit, all that I had to go through, fuck. Could have just sent me an angel and told me what the hell. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, you gotta take that strike like Joe. You gotta strip the bear.
I wasted 8 years.
I
wasted 8 years behind that shit. I was high as fuck. But anyway, so the thing is with this NFL team, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a bunch of interview questions about this whole scenario. How do you feel about the fact that black men got together to bankroll their situation?
Black men got together to solve a problem. We are claiming that there's not enough black coaches and general managers and 70% players are black and blah blah blah. I get that, but the importance of it is ownership and the symbology of the ownership. Much like we can say the Obama presidency, the most important thing is he showed that it was possible.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's the most important thing, regardless of the failures or successes or however you want to stack it up. He showed that it was possible.
Yeah.
And it goes through, and it should. It's showing that it's possible. And they're making the right move by at least securing the stadium.
Because what happens is, and what's so good about this situation, per my view, every day that the city does not do this deal, they're losing money.
Now I have this question. Now we're saying that we're building a new franchise, so that means that we're assuming that the league is going to expand 2 to 4 teams. That we're making that assumption.
No, ultimately
I'm
it has to.
I'm looking at the investment capital behind this. It's kind of a gamble.
Well, ultimately they have to. Like, first of all, their speculation is a 5-year model. I'm going to say 8 years. But within 8 years, the teams are going to expand. Because one thing about the NFL that I noticed when the Texans came to be, they have decided, even if the team doesn't do well, we want to go to where people are populating. That's what I noticed they're doing now. They're going to where people have populated. Because even with the LA Chargers discussion that you brought up earlier, the problem is not moving. The problem is that stadium is hell to get to. It's hell. And, you know, I never forget, man. I was.
You talking about Oakland? Oakland?
No, I'm talking about the Chargers Stadium. Chargers, LA, Los Angeles.
Right. They don't.
The stadium is hard to get to.
I know what I'm saying. Like, you don't think it's possible to buy the Chargers and move them to Oakland?
Yeah, but what is that going to solve? Educate me. What is that going to solve?
I think that's a shorter term plan.
To do what?
Because we're gambling on the league expanding.
Right, but what if the owner doesn't want to sell?
The owner doesn't want to sell, but I mean, we have to at least pitch.
Okay, pitch him.
The thing is, the Chargers right now are in a situation where they're going to share a stadium with the Rams.
Okay, so
they're going to basically be in a Clipper situation.
Okay, so instead of building a team where you own the team lock and stock, you want to hold on. Let me see how much he's asking for that.
Because he's not worth a lot of money. The Chargers are not worth a lot of money. If they were, he would have built his own stadium in San Diego, and that was a dump.
Trying to find an asking price. What did he buy it for? Okay, so he bought majority stake for $48 million. So you want them to buy this property for 92, which is their plan. And then you want them to pay, let's say, another $75 million for an LA team to bring over to Oakland. And now you got the conversation in Oakland that's going to be, this is a LA team, this ain't our team. And you just paid all this money for it. And every time they lose, the culture here, and I'm telling you, these dudes are very serious.
Right. I know Oakland and LA.
These dudes put on makeup for a reason. Every time they lose, it's gonna be like, this ain't really my team anyway. As opposed to building a team from scratch, watching them lose every freaking day.
Okay, well,
like it's their team.
Well, I mean, a team is a team. Right now, do you have a team? No, you don't have a team.
No, a team.
Everybody gets old and everybody dies and fade away. Those children But the children
No,
are not going to know the difference. It's these
that's not.
old folks with the old ideas, with that old culture. But
You willing to spend 200 million on that hope? It
you're
ain't
going
gonna
to
hold
spend
you.
$2 billion building it from scratch, possibly.
Yeah, but okay. I hear you, Future. It's just that this
I'm
place you
just
can't.
playing devil's advocate. I'm not against building it from scratch, but I'm just saying that there is more of a gamble in, well, number one, them expanding, and two, that they're going to choose you. I mean, because a lot of people buy stadiums in lieu of waiting on a team. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Seattle has the infrastructure ready to receive another NBA team at some point to get the Supersonics.
NBA team?
Right, they're trying to get the Sonics.
Where? They don't even have the property yet.
I'm just simply saying they have some form. They have an organization in place and money in place to try to get the Sonics back.
Okay. Let me say the last time I was in Seattle watching the Sonic game, they took half of the NFL field and put freaking hardwood. You had to sit in 1/3 of the, and mind you, these are NFL seats that go all the way up to the sky.
They never had their own stadium.
No, sir, never. That's
So
why
they played in the Kingdom.
Yes. That's my question to you, sir. Where's the location? You got to remember, Seattle is a waterlogged place. And other than maybe Bellevue, or you're going to put them out to Reading, which would put them outside of Seattle and make it a 3-hour drive to get to Reading, I couldn't see where you would even put them.
Yeah, there definitely is going to be a Bellevue or skirmish right outside of Bellevue to the right.
Right. Or something out there toward Renton. I mean, I just don't see where you would put it. And then to where it's not marshland. Let me say that again. Also to where it's not marshland. Because when I was working for Kenworth Trucking, they had the same problem trying to find a location. They had to go out there to where Boeing at to build their location because that was the only solid ground. Like, you can put a building on marshland because it doesn't have all that weight. But you try to put a stadium on marshland, it's going to start a slow sink. The A's out here about to do something stupid. The Oakland A's, they're going to put their stadium out here on the pier. Okay. and you think
they better learn from New Orleans.
Right. That's what I'm about to say. You think Mother Nature is going to cooperate every decade and not raise the water level at some point in time? Boy, stop. So that's the problem I have with the Supersonics is they need to get a location first. The only reason I look at the NFL, and the only reason I'm disagreeing with you on it, is because it's packed ready to go. It already has the fan base, so it's just packed ready to go. That's the same thing if you put an NBA team over here. You know, Warriors are going to fight against it because it cuts into their fan base. But
I don't think that's going to happen for a while.
What the fan base of the Warriors?
Oh, as long as the Warriors are in the position they're in, the popularity or the revenue, that level of ownership, the investment of that ownership group, they'll pay. Trust me, everybody has a price. They'll pay off Oakland for that to prevent that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said, yeah. Unless they fight it, so I could see them paying it off.
Now, football, that's different because the NFL wants TV markets. They want to merge the TV market.
I know this. They better start with Warriors. Better start winning some games because they just lost to Celtics. They better start winning some games. Otherwise,
well, it wasn't the Celtics. It wasn't the scrub.
Yeah, the Celtics ain't got nobody no more. All they people are gone. Shoot, they got rid of 1, 2, 3. They got rid of Haywood, little dark skinned brother. Who else? I know they got rid of 2. They might have got rid of 3. They really don't have too many people no more. Because Smart, and Kimba is really the people who score the most. So
You think so? Yeah, I thought it'd be more like Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
well, Jaylen Brown, yes. Tatum, not so much. Tatum has this thing where people want him to be greater than what he is right now.
Right.
And he got the Tayshaun Prince type of thing where it looks good when he shoots.
You wrong, man. He better than Tayshaun.
No, I'm very serious. It's popular.
But he said Tayshaun.
His level of popularity is like Tayshaun Prince. It's like, yeah, but he ain't a factor.
Right, waiting on him to burst on the scene. It's like Paul George.
Oh God, that name. Oh Jesus Christ.
Man, my friend was all over Paul George. Now he wanted to deny the shit. Like, dude, you said this was a stud. I told you that guy. Now he wants to deny the shit when it's proven.
That dude is terrible. Terrible. See, the Warriors are relying on Kevin Looney. He
have a choice.
Yeah, that's my point. So, Jason Tatum did outscore the Warriors. But see, Jason Tatum, he has these games where it's like, oh man, you know who looks really good? Wall and the guy from Indiana.
Yeah, Oladipo.
Yeah, they look real good. And the Wizards don't look that good. At all.
No.
Russell was talking cash crap though, boy. Who else is
Russ on the downside? He's on a train, and that track, that pipe about to run off the tread, and when it crashes, it's gonna crash real bad. It hits mouth. The only thing that's going to increase is his mouth.
Man, if Russell if they had that OKC stuff working, that was a really good team. But management screwed it all up to me. But in conclusion, so we got the brothers who are going to do this, man. And this is a beautiful thing to see brothers really, really come to the forefront image-wise. I like the image.
Right. The image.
Yeah.
That it's going to get, be done.
Right. And like I said, I really think the deal is going to go through because Oakland doesn't have anywhere to go. They don't have any buyers, number one. They have nobody who wants to make plans for it. There was one talk at one point in time about apartments, but they know that would just create crime. That would be like creating a Capini Green. So they're not going to do that. And then it's so close to the freeway. So at one point in time, people was about shopping malls, but why? They barely deal with Eastmont Mall and Southland Mall. So ain't no reason to do that. They have nowhere to go but this black group. And my point for the black group is, even if you do not build the stadium, because see, you got to understand too, if this deal goes through, they're getting 2 facilities for one. That's something else I left out. They're getting the baseball facility and the baseball NFL's facility and the basketball facility. How about that? Because they're on the same property, right
across from each other, right?
Yeah. So this would be a twofer. Okay. So that means that all of their events, they're going to make that money back. They're going to make that money back. All of the events, and let it be a celebrity attached to it, Jay-Z or a darn. Hopefully, Jay-Z's smart enough to get in on this. But let it be something like that.
Kevin Durant.
All your hip hop acts are going to the stadium. You're gonna make that money back, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Or to at least turn the basketball facility into an arena, like a concert arena.
No, the basketball facility doubles as an arena. Already, it doubles as an arena. So anytime they have shows, car shows, concerts, they have it in that NBA facility.
Yeah, that's a sweet deal.
Right. Right, because the A's are leaving. So the baseball facility is up for grabs. And again, my key word that I asked you, they have no other plans for it. Nobody else is interested.
Where are the A's going?
Again, to the pier.
So it's going to be in Oakland, but they're going to the doggone pier, to like the bay. They going
to one of those shipping ports that are not in use anymore. And they're going to build a stadium on that shipping port.
Trying to be like Candlestick.
Right. Right. But my only question is, I don't know how the weight, because you got two things going on with that. Number one, you haven't had, other than the boats that come by, you haven't had a structure take the wind like that. So I don't know how that's going to work out. And then the weight of putting that type of weight on that port, where normally cars are parked or people are warehousing stuff and on and off. If you go put thousands of people in one area, what's happening deep down underneath that structure in the water? How strong is that to be able to take that type of weight? You see what I'm saying? So, because the A's do show up, the people for the A's do come out. So I don't know what type of weight that's going to be and how that's going to work out, because it's never been tested, is my point. So it is what it is. Because if something was to break in the water underneath, it would be cataclysmic. But I just don't see the point of put it out to the water.
I mean, now you're going for a straight disaster.
Well, because
it is a risk. It is a risk approach, though.
Well, because we've had disasters here in the Bay, like when the freeway fell, and so we're really looking at. We always look at stuff like that. Like, man, look, let's not even play around. That's our thing. It's like, let's not even play around. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, it's good, man. Let's not even play around. Because you be having some structures that are just real good, right? Bay Area, we like, man, spend that money, man. Let's not even play around. Reinforce that for the hell of it. We don't even want that discussion.
I'm pretty sure they got something figured out.
Well, we'll see how it goes down, but I just want these brothers to get this property, man, because me living here now, I got to make myself very integral part of the community. Hopefully, my singing thing picks off, and I get a little bit of popularity and do some things for the people. Somebody, I had an interview a couple of months ago. Somebody was saying, "Oh, being that you older and this is a young man's game," I said, check this out. I'm not in music to please younger people. I'm just in music to put wisdom to music. That's it. I'm like, what's your boy? I said his name during the interview, but I can't think of it now. Jim. Damn, what's his name? The rock singer. Oh, Jim Morrison.
Mhm.
Like Jim Morrison. Like Jim Morrison, man. Just here to spit the wisdom. Well, do you rap? No, I spit poetry. Poetry. I don't rap. But that sounds like rap. I spit poetry. That's what I do. You know. Well, it sounds good and blah blah blah, and you know, I said, it is what it is. But yeah. So yeah, hopefully this takes off, Future, man. Hopefully this gives people something to be really proud of when it comes to the black male image.
Okay. Moses, no sex trafficking and stutter rap. We got.
Wow. Matter of fact, I was talking to some Africans about that, man. I said, y'all got to stop that sex trafficking in Africa. Jesus Christ. You dudes. I mean, y'all act like y'all never had vagina before. It's just a woman. Huh?
The way of life.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, man. It's like, it can't be that serious. You know, I start to think sometimes, Future, Africans like bullying women. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. Ooh. And when I say Africans, I mean Americans also. It's just, Jesus. Well, like when homeboy bit that girl's eye. Who does that? Really, dude? Bit her eye?
You know, it's sad, like, you know, we talk about women all the time, and then we still that's what some of these dudes be doing, and it's like, you're reinforcing this nonsense.
Right. I'm like, buddy, you're not an ugly looking dude. You dress kind of fly. Listen to Mr. Research. Go buy you some. Why are you laughing?
It bothers me. I think about 2 years ago down here, this dude got this lady pregnant. I think she already had 2 kids. She's got big, but she had a good job. She was a CPA, had a good job. He gets her pregnant. I think dude was maybe around 40 or so. Gets her pregnant. How about this lady gets in her car one morning going to work and he shoots her in the head in the driveway? Because she was pregnant for him.
See, that's just like this dude, man. Dude was taller than me, better looking than me, muscle bound, and in his mind, man, he was just not a king. He just wasn't. He had this little petite chick who was a lawyer. Keyword here, a lawyer. And he's sitting up here piping this chick down. And one day she comes to him, oh, I'm pregnant. Here he go. Well, it ain't mine. Buddy, you cannot do this 15-year-old Igga-ish with somebody that's a lawyer. Are you serious? And you know, she went from I thought I knew you to you really ain't nothing, and just took him for, I mean, he had nothing to begin with, right? Just made him almost penniless. And I'm like, for what? Your ego and your lack of pipe control? Boy.
It's their fault. It's their fault.
Well, yeah, she was picking. See, this the one thing I say all the time, though. She was picking her fantasy, but her fantasy was not yet a man. What you do with your family, that's manhood. I'm not even at the manhood level that you at. That's you got to deal with other human beings, and you got to make sure that younger human beings have some level of a head start. That's difficult.
Well, what do you think about the conversation when a woman says, "Well, they say we need to level up. Well, the dudes that approach me need to level up."
They,
They, or how some people say the language term, he doesn't make enough money, but that's not really what they're saying in general. He hasn't leveled up. What do you think about that?
well, I'm gonna be doing a video on this channel about that, and it's kind of like I said on my previous channel. You need to be a manager, supervisor, or something. There's no reason for you to just check in at work. That don't even make sense. For what purpose? And see, that takes it out of money. Let's not even put money into it. Are you leading other people in some form of fashion at church? Are you leading the men's group? Your tennis table league. Are you leading? Did you create?
I made 80 grand driving this truck.
Dude, that's not enough, man. That's look, that I've seen people make 120 grand from their condo just painting shoes. That don't mean nothing. Cause one day something's gonna happen. It hasn't happened yet, but one day something's gonna happen, and you're gonna have the possibility of going backwards. It happens to a lot of people. The truck drivers, man. Here's the thing I keep saying about the truck drivers. Like I was just talking to my my old high school homeboy. Oh, this computer gonna die in a minute. I was talking to my high school homeboy. He don't even use brokers anymore. They got their own truck driver. So this goes to my point that I say to truck driving dudes all the time. Don't put yourself in a position where the culture just changes overnight. Oh, that ain't gonna happen. Don't say that. Don't say that ain't gonna happen. You hope it don't happen, but don't put yourself in a position because you'll be screwed off in the game. You don't have no protections right now. You don't have no unions. You don't have no, and like I told City of Truth, if the Indian Asians take over the brokers, y'all ain't gonna get no work. And you know what he said? Well, I just got some work from an Indian broker. Exactly. There you go. There you go.
It wasn't until one of your lines of communication got terminated that I started researching your name. There's a lot of hating videos out there about you.
a lot of videos.
A lot of hating videos, especially by certain people.
About through Mr. Research or CA?
Mr. Research.
Yeah.
And some of them are not that old, even in the CA era.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I've seen 2 or 3, especially that Mr. Research is an enabler. I'm like, and what's so funny is City of Truth makes most of these videos about me. He's such a funny dude. He's such a funny dude.
I didn't say it.
Huh?
I didn't say it.
He's just a funny dude, man. He's the only one that gives my stuff a thumbs down and still talks on the panel. I'm serious. That's what that dude does. Now he think I don't know it. I told him about it one time. He just laughed. Yeah, I know you do it, dude. I'm not tripping. Right. All right, so we're gonna get you the last word, Future. What are your thoughts on this, Mr. Bobbitt and this team? I hope this comes to fruition so I can brag about it and talk cash shit.
Now, all of this just need to come to fruition. We need other. I implore people to find other Black investment groups. We need to invest our money in those avenues, not just in Robinhood and Acorn.
Hopefully, we can get other investment groups to invest in other teams, and eventually, at some point, leverage some of these other owners out. NFL, the NBA.
Yeah,
possible.
Yeah, to some degree, they really need to do that. They really need to do that, man. To some degree. Let me also say about I did like Ridge, the bad guys. Mr. Research need to get some sleep. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's sleep.
That was hilarious. That shit was hilarious. I died on that.
he got chilled out.
yeah, I died laughing. I like, you know what's so funny is the weird thing about me. I don't mind people saying stuff about me because that's how I learn and get better anyway. So, but it is funny.
And even though I don't want it, I don't like getting into the gossip. The one mistake I made, I should have downloaded that video about those tickets to Seattle.
What was I gonna say?
That would have been that would have been a wooden stake with a silver tip.
It's so funny. I heard Tito's out of jail. Yeah, they said Tito's out of jail, and he did a video in somebody's backyard.
Oh well, you already know he's making a comeback.
Oh man, it's so funny, man. Yeah, man, my man Tito, man, he back in here ready to get at work, and I'm like, this nigga, forget the rape case. This nigga pulled the gun on a pregnant person to rob him. What the fuck?
That's not gonna matter.
That shit is hilarious.
It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter as long as he says he's sorry.
Shit's hilarious. Hey, like I said, all this shit, and you know what? We gonna have to talk privately, probably tomorrow, about O'Shea bringing his dad up.
Yeah.
Man.
That's another situation where, once again, I can't even imagine the thought of that even going across my mind.
This man,
even if it did, my father would be like, hell to the hell, fuck no.
This man got out of his sick bed.
Please.
And Woman Sphere made a great point. Even if it isn't him, that means his dad had a pedophilia charge. And that's a problem too. And it's like,
well, why is that a problem?
Because what
he didn't go to prison for it?
No, it's not that. It's that sometimes people, they have energy for the world and opinions for other people, but they don't have that same energy for their own family.
Right. So in other words, you're not in a position to judge.
Not at all. Not at all. Or wag the finger or tell people that they're not talented or anything. Because you got some stuff at home you need to go talk about.
The simple fact that he even was allowed to even contact his father and his father even responded tells me that you know how they say the apple don't fall far from the tree. That is just a level of weakness. My father would never, ever, please. No child of my father. We didn't even grow up with our father. No child of my father would ever conceive of the thought of contacting him about defending me on some damn YouTube.
Well, see, here's the funny thing. Again, a video I made on this channel, 2.0 and 3.0 create all the problems. It's BGS, Obsidian, Angry Man, or O'Shea. Always.
Well, the same thing happened in the black spiritual community. It's all the ones who came after.
Off the chain. Off the chain. Just argument after argument, disrespect, saying stuff out of turn. It's always that. And see, my thing is, now I will agree with O'Shea on this one thing. This center guy, he's just saying stuff for clout. He just saying stuff for clout. He actually has what he needs, but his whole thing is who can he tear down to get more attention. That's his whole thing.
Well, and he clearly stated that, and I take him at face value.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that. So he stated that.
Yeah. In the O'Shea takedown video, the 3-hour long one. There, of course, I only need about 30 minutes. But in the very beginning, when he pulls out his book, The Black Box, he clearly states that is his goal.
Well,
in order to rise to the top, and he justifies it by using history as saying when a man enters a room that's a stranger to other men, they automatically try to push him down. And so that is clearly his strategy, to try to take them out one by one so that he can rise to the top.
But I guess because first he did it to Kevin Samuels before O'Shea, and Kevin didn't respond and didn't have a position that he needed to respond. So I guess that's the stronger part of Kevin and his soft skills.
Right. And I was going to say that is exactly the point. You have to clearly recognize, Kevin has the maturity to recognize that there's no point in responding, and he hasn't lost momentum yet.
Right. While O'Shea, I tried to tell O'Shea when me and O'Shea was real cool. O'Shea responds to, he gets too easily angry. He just really gets too easy.
Right. But lost in that rhetoric is not that Saint Center doesn't have anything of value to add. He like I said, I listened to him for a little while. I listened to a couple of his videos. There's some valuable stuff in there.
I mean, yeah, he's a business person.
But of course, but most people are more or less attracted to the outer edges, I think, more than the actual content.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know. I don't know. It remains to be seen. We'll see how it goes now. Well, thank you for joining me, sir. Once again, hopefully this NFL thing goes through. It'll take 5 to 8 years, but that'll give me time enough to put myself in some type of vendor position. My cousin used to have a cheesesteak vendor opportunity at the Warriors facility. So that's something to revisit. I want to try to get into some form of restaurant ownership. I saw a guy rent out a $500 a month location and was pushing out some great product. But what's so funny is majority of the people that I grew up with are not in position. So I said to myself, I'm gonna have to double my effort to try to put myself in position to just be able to drop 50K and not miss it.
Yeah, because last time I was there, it was predominantly Latinos in and around the stadium.
Yeah. Well, we don't even have no more soul food no more. And so that's the model that I kind of want to create. But I know, I think my biggest problem, I'm going to have to start befriending business people. And that's always a new thing, because, yeah, I'm going to have to start doing it because I got to put myself in position. Anyway, so let me get out of here, sir. Go off. I got some work to do, so.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Much love to you, sir. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the information, too. Thank you for the disagreement that helped me learn. And talk to you on the next one, sir.
All right, now be safe out there.
Peace.
God, peace.